Yo, what up? Voice reveal. So recently I've been in a few Game Grumps collaborations. I wanted to show my parts here and my process, do some animation analysis as well. Check a look.
Let's do a little thought experiment.
I'd love that.
What is the difference between a pleasure moan and a pain moan, like sound-wise? Like if I went like, what is that to you? What does that sound like?
That's a classic.
This is a classic Thigh Master. I'll demonstrate.
You just go like this. Bam.
Do it again.
And then you just crush the thighs.
This next one was part of a 24-hour-long challenge, so we had to animate 10 seconds in one day. I ended up taking close to 48 hours to finish this. Way too many frames for the amount of time given.
200? Are you some kind of fool?
I'd be a fool if I took 68.
120.
No, I'm not. You're in no position to negotiate.
200? Are you some kind of fool?
I'd be a fool if I took 68.
120.
No, I'm not. You're in no position to negotiate.
There's not a lot to talk about for this one. I pretty much just winged the animation from the key poses I used in the storyboard, mostly because of the time constraint. One thing of note is that I used Ace Attorney poses for this first part with Aaron. I was playing through the games when I was making this animation, so I thought that was fun.
That's a classic.
This is a classic Thigh Master. I'll demonstrate.
You just go like this. Bam.
Do it again.
And then you just crush the thighs.
This one in particular was a pretty unique challenge, mostly because I didn't rough out Dan or Aaron for the reflection. That made it kind of rough to make sure the scale and the motion matched each other. This one's got some good faces in it as well, and I always love drawing front-facing Dan. It's like the opposite of how that should work in real life. It just turns flat.
Let's do a little thought experiment.
I'd love that.
What is the difference between a pleasure moan and a pain moan, like sound-wise? Like if I went like, what is that to you? What does that sound like?
For the walk, I started with the body for both of them, and then I outlined Aaron's lip sync. Then I drew the head and copied it to rotate it with the body so I could cheat by using it as a way to stay on model. You can see I did this here with Dan. I also made sure to fix Dan's legs to move out less, so it matched with the perspective of Aaron's legs. I'll show you the cheat here more clearly. I really just copied and pasted the head and rotated it to match the body's motion. And here's the perspective fix on Dan's legs. I did the same cheat here for the head as well. I keep the head shape pretty much the same throughout this, but I changed the hair to have it drag behind him as he moves. Now I'm gonna do a little lip sync analysis, kind of a little tutorial as well, using this close-up shot of Aaron.
What is the difference between a pleasure moan and a pain moan?
I put in a little diagram to show the importance of having arcs in your animation. It makes it look smoother, and I think it helps a lot when it comes to animating mouths and dialogue and stuff like that. This is just turning into a tutorial video. I'm gonna show you the word and mouth analysis real quick, and we'll go from there. Sometimes, to have the animation read well, you have to skip over certain syllables of speech. To combat this, I usually tend to jump ahead to the next strongest mouth shape. In that case, the and the duh in difference are pretty similar, so the mouth shape he has with the tongue at his roof of the mouth can carry both sounds.
What is the difference between...
Also, if you want to get really detailed with your animation, I want to note that it's important to have aspects of your character's face react when they say things or when their mouth is open and close. Here you can see Aaron's eyes squash and stretch whenever he closes his mouth or whenever he opens it out wide. And lastly, for the backgrounds, I used a bitmap fill, which is kind of like the chowder effect, where you can have an image stay in the same place while the characters are moving around it. That's what I used for the reflections for the ocean. I used that in my consume prilosec animation as well, with the plaid on Aaron's shirt. And yeah, that's pretty much it.